Okay, continuing on with the Og family markers and the Og set of markers. If you are watching this video, you need to look at the preceding videos before this, otherwise things won't make sense because I'm gonna be moving on with marking and denoting more of these markers and demystifying them, and I'm going to be expanding more on the Og, Ang, and Sa families of markers. All right, so let's move on. And just a little kind of to review, remember how specificity and non-specificity refer to things like, um, so you want to buy an apple? Okay, which apple? Oh, that apple. The apple is the one that you want to buy. Oh, the apple that you were referring to. Oh no? Okay, so not specific. So, okay, let's just buy an apple. Just not, just any apple, just an apple. Or you just want to buy some apples. It's not, see how it shows specificity and non-specificity? Whereas you you're not specific to what kind of apple you want to buy, but you do want to buy an apple. However, if you're going to mark it in specificity, you are going to refer to a specific apple that you want to buy. And specificity, you can kind of think of it that way. It's not exactly the same translation into Cebuano, but that's kind of like a concept you can think in the back of your mind when referring to specificity. And in specificity, we're referring to Cebuano markers as ang and sa. They refer to specific types of nouns, whereas og is a non-specific kind, right? But I have ang circled because remember, ang is a focus marker, and og and sa belong to the same family of focus markers. So that's why they're circled, okay? Just keep that in the back of your head or in your mind, all right? Moving on. So og marker families, so if you're gonna use og, right, it's gonna denote a non-focus with nouns. So if you're gonna mark a noun with og, it's just gonna make the noun as a non-focus. It's just gonna say, hey, this noun is important, but it's not the most important thing that's being marked at the moment, because ang in the sentence is marking something, and that's the more important focus, right? So it's gonna make it so that whatever you marked with og is generally, right, generally and usually gonna be the direct object. That's not always the case, but it usually is, right? So remember, the direct object is what is the verb that's doing something, right? Or to something that's being acted on, right? Or it's AKA the patient voice. And that's what, if the verb tells us, the verb's conjugation tells us, it's going to be the patient voice, okay? So remember that direct object is usually going to be marked with an og, right? Og markers also are non-specific, as we reviewed in that little box. So non-specific meaning with nouns, meaning it's just going to be a non-specific item. Oh, a horse, an apple, a banana, some pennies, some games, some whatever, right? It's going to be whatever noun, but it's not specific. Or it can also be a noun clause or another clause, but that clause is not specific, okay? Or a noun phrase, I should say. A noun phrase, but it's not specific. Versus ang and sa, which are specific, they are referring to a specific kind of noun or a specific kind of noun phrase, right? That special apple, that current whatever, right? So you can think of it that way. And then also they mark non-focus. So if you're gonna use og with the pronoun, right, the og set of pronouns, we have that called the ergative set, right? That's why I put it here, the ergative pronouns. So if we use the og set or the og marker families, and we want to use the pronouns that are a part of the og marker family, that the pronoun will be the ergative pronouns, aka they're the non-focus pronouns, right? So when you use those pronouns, they're just gonna say to the listener or to the reader that, yeah, we're here, but we're just not as important as the absolutive case pronouns. So know those, okay? Because whatever was marked in the sentence with the absolutive case pronouns take more of the focus than the ergative ones, okay? And how do we know if it's going to be an ergative one? Well, you have to look at the verb conjugation. when used with verbs, you look at the conjugation of the verb because it will tell us when it's going to be in the ergative case. How do you know what the verb conjugation is? Well, you have to look at the common affixes that I said in the previous videos. All right? So like that would be like the gi, the an, the na, like those kind of affixes trigger this ergative case pronoun to be used of the og marker family. And here are the sentences. Some example sentences, okay? So first one, nakita sila og balay, right? Nagkita sila og balay, right? Nag is an affix for the absolutive case. It's also that direct agent focus, right? So we're talking about the agent focus. Sila is our agent. They, right? They. That's an absolutive case pronoun. So nag triggered this absolutive case to be used, right? Or this absolutive case pronoun to be used. Nagkita. Nag only works with the absolutive, right? It doesn't work with the ergative case. However, blue right here, og balay, the house, or sorry, a house, right? They saw a house. Nakita sila og balay. They saw a house. It doesn't mean they saw the house. It just means they saw a house, right? It's non-specific again. They just saw a house. It wasn't any specific house, it's just a house. We don't know what kind of house it was, it's just a house, right? Nakita sila og balay. Now that og balay marked that non-focused, non-specific with nouns, right? Because balay is our noun meaning house, and og marked balay as non-specific, non-focused. How do we mark it? By putting the marker before the noun, right? So, og balay, ang balay, sa balay. Like those markers, right? Before the noun. Next sentence, same thing. Maggiyami sa mga tao. Maggiyami sa mga tao. And that means we will guide, right? Kami. Remember, me is that the shortened form. And you can't use a shortened form in the beginning of the sentence. You can't. You just have to use it after the verb. So, Magiyami sa mga tao. We will guide the people. Or we're gonna guide the people. Okay? Who are the people? Oh, just the people. Sa mga tao. Okay. But since we're using sa again, sa is specific, so it's specific. So those specific kind of people. Oh, the group over there. Okay, yeah, the people that we were talking about earlier. Yeah, that kind of people. Those are the people. They're specific to specifically those people that we were talking about earlier, or specifically the people over there, waiting over there, or specifically the people in front of us, or specifically the people that you mentioned earlier. So you see, that's why sa is a specific marker. But since sa can also fall under like a non-focus, right? Magiyami sa mga tao, it can also be that non-focus in an aspect like that, non-focus perspective. And again, look at mag and mi. They are both marked in the absolutive or the ang set of markers in the absolutive case, right? Because mag triggered the absolutive case pronouns, which is me, which is short for kami, which is us, is the inclusive us. It's the exclusive us, not including the listener, but it's just including all of us but the listener, kami, right? The third person plural. And the final last two, okay, so gitudloan na mo sila og kinatsila, right? We taught them, so tudlo means to point. Tudlo means to point or to teach, in this case, to teach, right? So look at the conjugation, gi and an. And gi and an, or gi blah 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 an, triggered our ergative form here, or the ergative pronoun to be used. So gi tudloan namo sila og kinatsila. We taught them, sila is them, and them, they are the one that are focused now because they're important. So we were teaching the people who are important to us Spanish. We taught them Spanish, right? Gitudloan namo sila og kinatsila. We taught them Spanish. Right? And the last one, hatagan ko ikaw og diaryo. Hatagan ko ikaw og diaryo. I will give you, again, an triggered the ergative for nako, which is short form, is ko, which shares the same short form for ako, but do not be confused because this is in the ergative case and I marked ikaw in the absolutive. Remember, you can only have one ergative, one absolutive. You can't have two. So in this case, that ko, by default, because ikaw is already in the absolutive, that ko changes to, that ko is in the ergative form. And it makes sense because the verb was conjugated to trigger the ergative form of nako, which is short form is ko. Hatagan ko ikaw og diaryo. I will give you the daily paper, right? Or the daily newspaper. Diario is like a journal or sorry, like a magazine or like a daily paper or newspaper, okay? Hatagan ko ikaw og diaryo. But remember, with the taka pronoun, right? Look what we have. We have the ergative first person and absolutive second person, ko ikaw. We can also shorten this to taka. Hatagan taka og diaryo. So remember, we can change it to taka. Okay? Hatagan taka og diaryo. And that's just what I want to review.